Here comes Cassidy, he goes 5th. Lucas de Grassi is 5th. De Grassi doesn't make it through, and Andre Lotterer, for the first time, doesn't advance through to the qualifying duels. Stoffel Van Dorn, Jean-Eric Verne, Jake Dennis, and Sebastian Buemi, the 4 drivers advancing to the duels. Da Costa doesn't improve, Evans gets into 4th place. Is that going to be enough? Bird comes across the line and he's 6th. Can Nick de Vries push Evans out? No! Da Costa, Mortara, Verline and Evans, the 4 drivers that advance through to the duels. Evans will face Van Dorn, Verline will face Verne, Dennis will face Mortara, and Buemi will be up against Antonio Felix da Costa. Mitch Evans for Jaguar TCS Racing against Stoffel Van Dorn for Mercedes EQ. Evans sets the benchmark of a 1 minute 8.935. Van Dorn's closing a little more, 0.3 of a second between them. Into the final corner, really up towards the wall there, Stoffel Van Dorn, but it's not enough for the championship leader. Verline up against Verne next. Big lock up from Verline coming into 13. Verline's benchmark time, a 1 minute 9.029. Verne is ahead though, but he's fighting the car. There's only 100th between them. Into the final corner. It's neat and tidy from Verne on the exit, just a little correction as he drives to the line. It's Verne. Jake Dennis for Avalanche Andretti up against Eduardo Mortara for Rocket Venturi Racing.
Narrows it up.
Oh,
did he get
right
the
to
wall?
the wall on the exit of the final corner. Dennis's time is an 8.6. That's a very quick lap, but Mortara is going quicker still by 1/10.5. Coming into the final turn, this is where Dennis looked pretty strong, and the gap is now less than 1/10 of a second. Mortara turns in, bit of a slide towards the line. It's going to be tight. Mortara, Sebastian Buemi for Nissan Edams, and Antonio Felix da Costa for DS Techeetah. Da Costa, I think you'd say, has to be the favourite for this one because of the pace he had earlier. Buemi's wide.
And that's going to kill his lap.
There, 0.6 of a second, and Buemi gesticulates. He knows he made that mistake, and it should be neat and tidy now for Da Costa into the final corner. He's 0.7 of a second ahead on the power, and then out towards the line. And it'll be Mortara versus Da Costa in the semi-finals. Mitch Evans for Jaguar TCS Racing against Jean-Eric Verne for DS Techeetah. A tidy final corner, and this should be enough for Verne to get into the final. It's now 0.3 of a second. Verne out towards the line. And Verne's in the final. It's Eduardo Mortara is up against Antonio Felix da Costa.
Oh, no!
Big slide for Mortara. That's going to cost him a huge amount of time. It's slower than Mitch Evans' time, so that would be 4th on the grid for Mortara if he loses to Da Costa here. Da Costa across the line. It's a DS Techeetah pole position. It's a DS Techeetah front row. Verne's beaten Da Costa before earlier this year when they went head-to-head, but now the battle is for pole position. So the run down towards turn 1 for Jean-Eric Verne. Gets onto the brakes.
God, he's carried some speed in there. So far, so good for Jean-Eric Verne.
Through the first few corners, Da Costa starts his lap now. So keep an eye on the tower on the left-hand side. Da Costa into the first corner.
Bit
Clouts
messier.
the curb.
Yeah. He's definitely fighting it a bit harder, and again that might,
Oi!
whoa, and that might be it right there. Tyres maybe slightly warmer than Antonio Felix da Costa's car.
This is Jean-Eric Verne now coming into 11 and 12. He's having to fight it. Da Costa's lost 0.2 with that moment at turn 3.
I think I'm going to lose my bet here, Jack.
But Verne has been a little scrappy here and there. Comes into 16. The advantage builds to 1/4 of a second. A few more corners to go for Jean-Eric Verne. He's now over 0.3 of a second ahead. Jean-Eric Verne is about to become the record holder for the most pole positions in Formula E history. He's going to beat his teammate. He's going to grab 3 points. Da Costa's still fighting the car as he comes through the final couple of corners. Maximum attack from Da Costa, but minimum pace. Through the final corner, sliding again. It's like he's on a drift track. And it's not enough. Jean-Eric Verne takes pole position for the Jakarta E-Prix, his 15th pole position in Formula E, a new record. Sebastian Buemi with his best qualifying of the season so far. And the same is true of Da Costa and Verne. Front row lockout for Diaz Techeetah.